The sky above Seoul darkened as strange signals crackled through the research facility's communication systems. Jay Park adjusted his glasses, watching the unexpected data streams flicker across multiple monitors. Outside the window, the city continued its bustling rhythm, completely unaware of the extraordinary moment unfolding. A soft beeping sound interrupted the silence. The computer screen suddenly filled with an alien transmission, geometric patterns, and complex mathematical sequences that seemed both beautiful and deeply strange. Jay's hands trembled slightly as he realized this was humanity's first genuine contact with extraterrestrial intelligence. The transmission contained a message, not in human language, but in a universal mathematical code that scientists had theorized might be the primary communication method for advanced civilizations. Jay understood enough to recognize it wasn't friendly. The alien species, which would later be identified as the Coral, viewed Earth with cold, clinical detachment, like scientists examining a primitive bacterial culture. In the transmission's encrypted data, Jay discovered something fascinating. The Coral had been observing Earth for decades, collecting information about human behavior, technological progress, and social structures. Their assessment was brutally simple. Humans were considered a low-tier civilization, barely worthy of serious consideration. What intrigued Jay most was their particular fascination with human beverages, especially coffee. The aliens had collected countless data points about global coffee consumption, brewing methods, and cultural significance. They found it amusing, a species so dependent on a stimulant drink that seemed completely irrelevant to advanced technological development. Little did they know that this very beverage would become humanity's most unexpected weapon. Back in the EIJ research facility, Jay quickly contacted military intelligence. Min Kim, a decorated military strategist, arrived within hours. Together, they began analyzing the transmission, understanding the subtle nuances of the alien communication. "They think we're weak," Min said, reviewing the decoded information. His voice carried a mixture of anger and determination. "They believe we're nothing more than an insignificant species waiting to be conquered." The Coral transmission included detailed scans of Earth's technological capabilities. They had mapped military installations, communication networks, and industrial complexes. Their assessment suggested that a full-scale invasion would take less than 72 hours with minimal resistance. What the aliens didn't understand was human adaptability. Jay noticed something peculiar in their transmission. The Coral had extensive data about human beverages, but seemed to fundamentally misunderstand their cultural and potential biological significance. Their scientific approach was methodical, but lacked the creative intuition that defined human problem-solving. Outside, the city of Seoul continued its daily rhythm. Students walked to schools, workers commuted to offices, and cafes buzzed with the familiar sound of coffee machines. No one knew that first contact had been made, that an alien civilization was preparing to make its move. Min contacted global military networks, sharing the encrypted information. Within hours, a quiet, coordinated response began taking shape. Not panic, not fear, but a calculated, methodical preparation that would surprise the approaching alien fleet. Jay's research team began running complex simulations. If the aliens were monitoring global communications, they needed to appear exactly as the transmission suggested, a primitive, disorganized species. Every action would be carefully calculated to maintain the illusion of weakness. As night fell over Seoul, strange preparations began. In research facilities across different continents, scientists like Jay started looking at everyday substances with new strategic perspectives. Coffee, which the aliens had dismissed as a mere human quirk, would become something entirely different. The Coral fleet was approaching. Their massive ships, constructed from materials unknown to human science, moved silently through the vast darkness of space. Navigation systems calculated precise entry points targeting major population centers. They believed resistance was futile. They were wrong. In a small research facility surrounded by humming computers and steaming coffee machines, Jay Park allowed himself a slight smile. The aliens had made a critical mistake. They had underestimated humanity's most powerful resource, creativity. The first stage of humanity's most unexpected defense was about to begin. The alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere like silent predators, their sleek metallic surfaces reflecting the early morning sunlight. Military radar stations across the globe tracked their approach, but traditional defense systems seemed almost laughably ineffective against such advanced technology. Min Kim stood in the underground command center, watching digital markers indicate the alien fleet's precise locations. He knew they had less than 6 hours before potential full-scale invasion. The global military networks were connecting, sharing real-time information with an unprecedented level of cooperation. J. Park's research team worked frantically in their laboratory. Scattered across multiple computer screens were complex molecular diagrams, coffee compound analyses, and bizarre chemical reaction simulations. Something was brewing, and it wasn't just coffee. The Chorale transmission continued broadcasting condescending messages. They described humans as primitive, biological entities with minimal technological potential. Their language translated into human communication systems carried an unmistakable tone of superiority and contempt. In cafes across Seoul, people continued their normal routines. Nobody knew that their morning coffee might become humanity's most unexpected defense mechanism. Baristas brewed espressos and lattes, completely unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding above their heads. Hana Lee, a brilliant biochemist, discovered something extraordinary during her overnight research. The complex chemical structure of coffee, when subjected to specific electromagnetic frequencies, could potentially create a unique biological disruptive signal. Her initial tests showed promising, albeit strange, results. Military satellites detected the first wave of alien scout ships entering lower Earth orbit. They moved with mathematical precision, scanning major population centers. Their technology was so advanced that human tracking systems could barely register their movements. "They're mapping our infrastructure," Min muttered, watching the digital readouts. "Preparing for a systematic elimination of our communication and defense networks." Jay approached the military command center, carrying a small briefcase filled with research data. His hands were steady, but his eyes betrayed a mix of excitement and nervous energy. The scientific community had been preparing for this moment, not with weapons but with understanding. The global coffee production network suddenly became more than an economic system. It transformed into a potential strategic resource. Massive coffee processing facilities in Brazil, Colombia, and Indonesia began receiving encrypted military communications. Something unprecedented was about to happen. Alien communication signals continued broadcasting their superiority. They described humans as a transitional species, not advanced enough for serious consideration, but potentially useful as a labor resource. Their arrogance would become their greatest weakness. Hana's research revealed that specific coffee compounds, when molecularly manipulated, could create a unique electromagnetic interference. Theoretically, this could disrupt alien technological systems in ways conventional weapons could not even imagine. The first alien scout ships began descending closer to Earth's major cities. Their advanced cloaking technology made them nearly invisible to standard tracking systems. But they couldn't hide from the complex network of sensors that Jay's team had strategically placed around the globe. Min Kim activated a global communication protocol. Military commanders from different countries began sharing real-time information, coordinating a response that seemed almost impossible just hours earlier. National boundaries disappeared in the face of a common threat. Coffee production facilities worldwide started receiving strange, coded instructions. What seemed like routine industrial communication was actually a sophisticated military preparation strategy. Trucks carrying coffee beans moved with unusual precision, following routes that seemed random but were carefully calculated. The alien fleet continued their approach, completely unaware that humanity was preparing a defense unlike anything they had ever encountered. Their advanced scanning technologies failed to detect the subtle preparations happening beneath their technological gaze. Jay looked at Hana and nodded. Something remarkable was about to happen. The Coral had made a critical mistake. They had underestimated humanity's most powerful resource, the ability to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. As the alien ships drew closer, a strange calm settled over the research facility. The next few hours would determine the fate of human civilization. And it would all begin with a substance the aliens had mockingly dismissed: coffee. The brewing tensions were about to reach a boiling point. The first alien scout ship entered Earth's lower atmosphere with calculated precision. Its advanced systems hummed with technological superiority, scanning the landscape below. Nobody could have predicted what would happen next. J. Park's fingers moved swiftly across the control panel. Hana Lee stood beside him, her eyes fixed on a series of complex molecular diagrams. They had transformed coffee from a simple beverage into a weapon of unprecedented potential. The military communication network activated simultaneously across multiple continents. Specialized drones, disguised as ordinary delivery vehicles, began moving into strategic positions. Each carried a payload that looked like standard coffee shipments but contained something far more extraordinary. Min Kim's voice crackled through the communication systems. "Prepare molecular dispersion protocols," he commanded. Years of scientific research and military strategy were about to be tested in moments. The alien scout ships began their initial scanning procedures. Their advanced sensors swept across cities, expecting to find a weak, disorganized species. Instead, they would encounter something completely unexpected. Hana had discovered a unique property in concentrated coffee compounds. When exposed to specific electromagnetic frequencies, the molecular structure could create a biological disruption field. It was a concept so bizarre that most scientific teams would have dismissed it as impossible. The first drone launched its payload over a designated alien scout ship. What appeared to be a simple coffee shipment transformed mid-air. Concentrated coffee molecules, engineered with precision, began to spread like a complex biological mist. Inside the alien ship, warning systems began to malfunction. Their advanced technological interfaces started experiencing inexplicable disruptions. The ship's internal systems began to break down in ways that defied their understanding of technological failure. Jay watched the initial results with intense concentration. The coffee-based molecular weapon worked differently on each alien ship. Some experienced complete system failure, while others showed progressive technological degradation. It was unpredictable, chaotic, quintessentially human. Military strategists around the world monitored the unexpected attack. Traditional weapons had been replaced by something far more innovative. Coffee, the drink that aliens had previously mocked, was becoming humanity's most unexpected defense mechanism. The Coral fleet's communication systems began to collapse. Their encrypted channels filled with strange interference, molecular disruptions that their advanced technologies couldn't comprehend. Humanity had turned its most mundane resource into a weapon of cosmic destruction. More drones launched across different global coordinates. Each carried a carefully engineered coffee-based molecular payload. The attacks seemed random, but they were precisely calculated to maximum effect. Alien ships began falling from the sky, not destroyed by traditional weapons, but systematically dismantled by a substance they had completely underestimated. The mathematical precision of their invasion was being countered by human creativity and unexpected innovation. Min Kim's voice remained calm during the entire operation. "Continue." "Molecular dispersion," he repeated. Military teams around the world worked with scientific precision, transforming global coffee production into a strategic defense network. Hana's research had proven correct. The complex chemical structure of coffee, when properly manipulated, could create electromagnetic interference that disrupted advanced technological systems. It was a breakthrough that would rewrite humanity's understanding of biological and technological interactions. The alien fleet's initial confidence began to crumble. Their advanced scanning systems couldn't predict or prevent the caffeinated attack. Humanity had turned its most ordinary resource into an extraordinary weapon of defense. Jay allowed himself a brief moment of satisfaction. The scientific community had done what no one thought possible. They had transformed coffee from a simple, morning beverage into a tool of cosmic defense. As the first wave of alien scout ships began to fall, a strange silence settled over the research facility. The counterattack had begun, and it was powered by something as simple and universal as coffee. The Coral fleet was about to learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate a species capable of turning its most ordinary resource into an extraordinary weapon. Humanity's caffeinated counterattack was just beginning. The global landscape transformed into a battlefield unlike any in human history. Coffee production facilities became secret military installations. Farmers, baristas, and scientists worked together with unprecedented coordination. Min Kim coordinated the planetary defense from an underground command center. Screens displayed global coffee production networks, military movement patterns, and alien fleet positions. The war was being fought with beans, not bullets. J. Park's research team continued developing more advanced molecular weapons. They discovered that different coffee varieties produced unique electromagnetic disruption patterns. Colombian beans created one type of technological interference, while Ethiopian varieties generated completely different results. Hannah Lee monitored alien ship movements, tracking their technological responses. The Coral fleet was struggling to understand how a simple terrestrial beverage could cause such extensive damage to their advanced systems. Military drones disguised as ordinary delivery trucks moved across continents. Each vehicle carried carefully engineered coffee compounds ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. The global coffee supply chain had become humanity's most sophisticated defense network. Alien communication channels began breaking down. Their initial confident transmissions turned into desperate attempts to understand the biological disruption. They couldn't comprehend how humans had weaponized something so seemingly insignificant. Coffee farms in Brazil became strategic military zones. Farmers who once simply harvested beans now worked alongside scientists, helping to develop more effective molecular weapons. Global agricultural networks transformed into a complex defense system. The Coral fleet's technological superiority began to crumble. Their advanced scanning systems couldn't predict or prevent the caffeinated attacks. Each new wave of coffee-based molecular disruption caused more extensive damage to their ships. Military strategists worldwide shared real-time information. National boundaries disappeared as humanity united against a common threat. Coffee became the universal language of planetary defense. Satellite imaging showed alien ships falling from the sky, not destroyed by traditional weapons, but systematically dismantled by molecular coffee compounds. The invasion was being fought with creativity, not conventional military might. Jay discovered that different coffee brewing methods produced unique electromagnetic frequencies. Espresso created one type of technological interference, while cold brew generated completely different disruptive signals. Each preparation method became a potential weapon. Hannah's continuous research revealed that the molecular structure of coffee could be manipulated to target specific technological systems. The Coral fleet's advanced technology became increasingly vulnerable to these unexpected attacks. Underground research facilities worked around the clock. Scientists, military, personnel, and coffee experts collaborated in ways never seen before. The fate of human civilization depended on their ability to turn coffee into a defense mechanism. Min Kim's leadership kept the global defense network coordinated. Communication remained clear, precise, and focused. Every coffee shipment, every molecular compound was a potential weapon in humanity's arsenal. The alien fleet's initial confidence transformed into confusion and desperation. Their technological superiority meant nothing against a species capable of turning its most ordinary resource into an extraordinary weapon of defense. Global coffee production increased exponentially. What was once an economic industry became a critical component of planetary defense. Farmers, roasters, and baristas became unexpected heroes in humanity's survival. Jay watched the planetary defense unfold. With a mixture of scientific curiosity and national pride, humanity had done something unprecedented. They had transformed a simple beverage into a cosmic defense strategy. the Coral fleet continued to suffer massive technological failures. Their ships fell from the sky, disabled by molecular coffee, compounds that defied their understanding of technological warfare. As the defense continued, a strange unity emerged across human civilization. Different countries, cultures, and communities worked together with a single purpose. Coffee had become more than a beverage. It was humanity's unexpected savior. The planetary defense was working. Humanity was winning a war fought not with traditional weapons, but with creativity, innovation, and an unlikely hero: coffee. The final stage of the alien invasion was about to begin, and humanity was ready. The last alien ships burned in Earth's atmosphere, falling like broken metal stars. Silence settled over the planet, a silence of victory and unexpected triumph. J. Park stood in the research facility, watching the final moments of the invasion unfold. Screens displayed the systematic destruction of the Coral fleet. Their once impressive technological superiority had been completely dismantled by humanity's most unexpected weapon: coffee. Min Kim entered the control room, his face showing a mixture of exhaustion and pride. "We did it," he said simply. The global military network had achieved something no one thought possible. They had defended Earth using molecular coffee compounds that defied traditional understanding of warfare. Hana Lee continued monitoring the final stages of the alien retreat. Her research had proven that human creativity could overcome the most advanced technological systems. The scientific community would be studying these events for generations. Global communication networks began sharing the incredible story. News spread quickly. Humanity had successfully defended itself against an advanced alien civilization using coffee as a primary weapon. It seemed almost impossible, yet it had happened. The Coral survivors transmitted final messages back to their home world. These communications were filled with confusion and disbelief. They described a species that had turned a simple beverage into a sophisticated defense mechanism, something completely outside their technological understanding. Coffee production. Facilities around the world became instant monuments of human achievement. Farmers who had once simply grown beans were now considered heroes of planetary defense. The global agricultural network had become a critical component of humanity's survival. Scientific research facilities began analyzing the collected data. Each molecular compound, each electromagnetic disruption pattern would be studied carefully. The war had revealed capabilities that would revolutionize human technological understanding. Min organized the initial diplomatic preparations. The first, interstellar communication, would need to be carefully managed. Humanity had proven its capabilities, and the universe would be watching closely. Jay and Hana reviewed the final research data. Their work had transformed coffee from a simple morning drink into a weapon of cosmic significance. The molecular structures they had discovered would change scientific understanding forever. Global celebrations began spontaneously. Cities around the world erupted in joy, understanding that they had survived an impossible invasion. Coffee shops became impromptu celebration centers, with people raising their cups in victory. The alien fleet's remnants continued their retreat. What had begun as a confident invasion had transformed into a humiliating defeat. Humanity had demonstrated an adaptability and creativity that the Coral civilization could never have anticipated. Military strategists began documenting the unprecedented defense strategy. Reports highlighted how a global network of scientists, farmers, and military personnel had worked together to achieve the impossible. Hana discovered that different coffee varieties had produced unique defensive capabilities: Colombian, Ethiopian, Indonesian. Each type of coffee had played a specific role in the planetary defense. The agricultural diversity had become a strategic advantage. Jay realized that the war had changed humanity forever. They were no longer seen as a primitive species, but as an innovative civilization, capable of extraordinary achievements. The universe would now view humans with newfound respect. Min organized the first press conference, explaining the incredible story of humanity's defense. How a beverage that aliens had previously mocked had become the primary weapon of planetary survival. Global leaders began discussing the future. The successful defense had united humanity in ways never seen before. National boundaries seemed insignificant compared to the collective achievement. Coffee became more than a drink. It was now a symbol of human resilience, creativity, and unexpected potential. As the final alien ships disappeared from Earth's sensors, a new era of human understanding began. The coral invasion had failed, defeated by something as simple and extraordinary as coffee. Humanity had achieved its cosmic triumph.